The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. Today is May 5th, and it marks National Missing and Murdered Indigenous People Awareness Day, or MMIP. It's a day when our Native communities and other organizations across the country, sometimes across the world, come together to spotlight the MMIP crisis and also pay tribute to those who are most deeply affected. And today we are going to talk about a case that has been open for far too long. This is the case of Shirley Phyllis Gokey. She was last seen in Shawnee, Oklahoma on May 20th, 1978. Her body was later discovered 7 days later on May 27th, northeast of Shawnee. Originally, her death was ruled as natural causes, but her family believes that it wasn't. They believe that she was a victim of foul play, and unfortunately, after all this time, they are still searching for answers, now going on 50 years.
Little ridiculous to go on that long, especially with all of the progressions we have in the forensic sciences now. So many details in this particular case are interesting, if you will. I mean, so from what I've researched, initially she was seen in a bar, from what I understand, last seen in a bar
In Shawnee.
in Shawnee. This bar is no longer in existence, from what I understand from family members. It's no longer in existence. It was downtown, and she was seen with a gentleman there that was known to have anger issues, especially when he was intoxicated, and he'd been violent on many occasions. And from what I understand, during my research, is he was married and had some altercations, we shall say, with his wife, but a, a, a history of violence, we shall say.
And this is definitely something that um, we both take to heart when we sat down to talk about this case. um, One of the things that I looked at was research in whole, not just about this case. And one of the things I found interesting and heartbreaking all at the same time was from the U.S. Department of the Interior, the Indian Affairs Division. They did a study in 2016, and it was done by the National Institute of Justice. And that study found that more than 4 in 5 American Indian and Alaska Native women, that's 84.3%, had experienced violence in their lifetime, including a staggering 56.1% who had experienced sexual violence.
That is,
And I
oh,
don't want to, I hate to bring that up, but unfortunately, that appears that it could have been part of this case, because when they found Miss Gokey, a mother of 8 children, they found her nude body before lunch, but the police didn't actually arrive on the scene until approximately 5 p.m., according to the stories that we have read.
that's that's a pretty decent lapse in time there, with all kinds of evidence that can disappear.
She was she was in a wooded area just off of Moccasin Trail Road, which is about 3.5 miles east of State Highway 18. there were two boys wandering through that wooded area, and they found her body. They reported it. They're probably terrified. Um, the initial reports said that there were spots on her forehead and chest that initially were thought to be gunshot wounds, but were later said to be caused by decompensation. So, you're talking 7 days from the time that she went missing to the time that her body was found. Um, 7 days can do that. It doesn't eliminate gunshots by any means,
No.
but that is what the ruling was from the officials that examined her.
Yes, and I did find some information from one of her granddaughters that stated that um, she has newspaper articles from when she was found, and she actually tracked down the boys that found her and got their account of what occurred the day they found her. We have not seen any details about what they reported to her, the granddaughter, but of course, there's no statute of limitations on murder, so you don't want to, just put out all of that information there. But she was also asked if she knew what the cause of death was based on some of these newspaper articles and things that she has. And she said that with the newspaper articles that she has that were released during that time, they don't match up. They all say something different. The articles originally stated she was sexually assaulted and murdered. Then somehow it went from her passing from natural causes, and then one said undetermined. Now, we have three different stories here that were reported. And I mean, that's a lot of changes in three different articles. And if you're a valid news agency, same one, we don't know if it was the same one, three different ones, but those are vast differences.
It would seem like in this day and age that an organization could step forward with some advanced DNA testing and potentially come up with a few more answers than we have now, going on close to 50 years.
Seriously. And um, correct me if I'm wrong, but was she not found nude in the woods?
She was found nude in the woods.
And at one point, she was seen by her family a week prior to that, which is fine. So, I mean, I I don't know about you, but I can safely say that I don't just go walking out in the woods nude by myself.
Not typically, no.
No. So there's there's still some unanswered questions and make me do the Scooby head tilt of "Meh?" So me thinks there's still plenty of answers that need to be found here. And we do have some new information coming in from apparently one of Shirley's children that said was the mother of 9, and that the man that she was last seen with had a Missouri driver's license. He admitted to being with her mom, but said that he had blacked out that day, so he didn't remember anything after taking her to the bar.
And we have seen and read enough true crime that bad things can happen during blackouts.
This is incredibly true, especially if this man has a history of violence. So there's a lot of unanswered questions here. And on this day of national awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous people, I think it's only fitting that we not only talk about and remember these people, but we bring them more to the forefront and the light and try to help in any way that we can. Those statistics that you stated are mind boggling and mind blowing. I think I just came up with a new mind boggling. It's staggering.
Overall, more than 1.5 million American Indian and Alaska Native women have experienced violence in their lifetime. And my fear is that that number is climbing.
And it shouldn't.
It absolutely should not. If you have any information, or if you yourself are a victim of any type of violence, you can always go to justice.gov/tribal/MMIP. There are tribal community response plans. There are education and resources. They have listening sessions. You can also learn about Savannah's Act and the Not Invisible Act. But on this day of MMIP, the National Missing and Murdered Indigenous Peoples Awareness Day, we want to take a second to remember those who will not come back, those who may not come back, and those that we hope come back. The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. If you have any information about any of the cases we have covered in these podcasts, please email us at info@smithmediateam.com.